No, vai, è andato.
Ok?
Sì, devo schiacciare di più.
Ok, if during the interview I call you Peter, don't...
Yeah, Peter, that's cool.
Feto? Feto, ok. Feto.
Feto. Sì, abbiamo scoperto come si chiama.
Ok, so Feto, before...
That's good.
Yeah.
Sorry. It sounds great, yeah.
Okay,
Sounds really good. So.
Okay, I should learn Swedish.
Swedish, you should. I always know it, so.
I know just the first word.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, will you tell us how did you start playing drums? What kind of studies did you make?
I started long ago now, actually. So I was like 7 years when I got my first real kit, and real kit, but it was like actually not a toy kit. It was like a real drum kit. I was 7 years old, and I started. That's a long time ago now. So I started playing quite early and just fooled around a lot. And then I started taking lessons when I was like 10, and studied a lot of notes, of course, like sight reading and stuff like that, and got to learn all the, basic rudiments, singles, doubles, and paradiddles, double paradiddles, clams, and rocks, and whatever. So I started quite early with that, and started also playing in different orchestras and stuff, where like marching bands and horn orchestras and stuff like that, and brass bands and stuff. And then quite early I also started playing more hard rock and heavy metal music together with Christopher, that's in Darkane now. So that's Christopher up here. Yeah. That's
hey, hello.
So we started quite early. We actually celebrate 20 years of playing together next year. So we started in '89 playing together, and we've been playing since then. So and Jürgen joined quite, just some years after that actually. 91. So we've been playing for a while too. So.
And you keep all the band in a good relationship. That's great.
Yeah. So we keep it. I started growing my beard back then, so it's tolerating since '91. No, and then I started. I've had lots of different teachers actually, but 3 main teachers. And I've been teaching a lot from, of course, reading music and stuff like that, and also working a lot. I do work a lot, or when I work at the most, I worked a lot with coordination and getting a personality. That's been my kind of main focus actually. I know there are drummers that play like 3 times as fast as I do, but I haven't really spent a lot of time on speed and endurance that way. I'm kind of more. When I got to learn the book. The New Breed by Gary Chester, that was like opening up to me a lot.
You did all the book?
I did the first one, almost everything, but
not the
no, today I couldn't do it. But when when I was like, whatever, 22, 23, I nailed a lot of that stuff, and if you don't, but I do, it's much easier if you did the book, it's much easier today if you do something complicated coordination-wise, you still. Even though you haven't played exact rhythms, it's quite easy to get to play something like that. I have on YouTube, like the opening solo on YouTube.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's like 4 different notes going on. It's 5 with my left foot, and it's 3 with my left hand, and it's 4/4 with my right foot, and it's 5 also with my right hand. So it's not like polyrhythms, but it's more like polymetric. Like different meters, like 3, 4, and 5. And then you have to, it's take like this many bars of 3 until everybody gets together again, on the 1 and stuff. So that's really I started working a lot with when I got into the. And my parents bought the second one too, the New Breed.
Okay,
but I never started with that one.
Yeah,
I opened it and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know that even Gary Chester can't do that book. He just wrote it, but he cannot do it.
No, it's totally cool. But I've always been very much interested since I also interested in math and stuff like that. Actually, I like when it's like a concept more than actually like if you get a book with a lot of different, hey Eric, if you get like a book with lots of different, whatever rhythms in it, that's cool, to learn all the rhythms when you start playing. But I think the main thing for me is like to get like a system like the Gary Chester one, when you have like, hey, for example with Gary Chester, when you start playing three stuff with your, for example with your feet and your hand is like doing rhythm together, and then you do the reading with your left hand.
Yeah.
So I like when it's more like of a system actually. I think that's really cool.
There are another drummer I think that has something to do with you is the guy from Textures.
Yeah.
Do you think that he has something?
Yeah.
Brooks.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you think that you have the same approach or?
We talked about that a lot. We met them like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, can't remember. Yeah, in Holland. But we played with Textures in Holland, so we were on the Saini tour, we met them, and I met Steph, you know, and we talked a lot about that, because we have very similar kind of approach to music, and we got into bands like Atheist and Cynic quite early, you know, and Sean Reynard, of course, he's like the drum god kind of for me, but so we have very much the same approach, I think, you know, and
but he has more, less symbols than you.
yeah, he's got less symbols, you know, because you know how to handle the stuff he's got. I just put on a lot of stuff, you know, so wherever I put my hand, you know, I always hit something.
Ah, okay, that's your secret.
That's my secret, yeah.
Okay. Okay, another question. So, how do you study? When you study drums, what do you do?
Nowadays, I hardly study that much. Actually, the last 10 years, actually, I haven't been studying that much, because I've been doing so many projects and recordings and all different types of music and stuff. So I always have some project going on that I need to practice on.
So just play.
So I just play more, but I did have like. I did have like 5 or 6 years where I spent a lot of time, and 2 or 3 years of those years I actually practiced almost 7 days a week, like, and I practiced somewhere between 5 to 8 hours a day, you know, and then I did
you had a job, or
no? I went to school then, or I didn't went to school. I don't know what I say, but you know, I studied, and I always did like that, you know. When I went to school, I tried to do as much I could, you know, in school, so I didn't have like much homework to do and stuff like that. I really was kind of ambitious in school, actually. So I knew I
drummer and I good student.
I'm not that good student, but I'm okay student. So
okay.
and I had quite easy learning. So you know, I didn't spend that much time at home. Yeah. So I just, you know, if I finished school like at 3 o'clock or something, you know, I went to the rehearsal room and I studied until 10 o'clock in the evening. I went home to bed and went to school, went to the practice room, went home, sleep, and you know, I did that. So, and I did that for a long time, actually, and that really, you know, when you build that kind of base, you know, a basic, you know, knowledge about drumming, and then
How old were you back then?
I started when I was like 18, 19, started practicing a lot until I was like 22, 23, and I did a lot of practice back then, actually. So a big opening for me was like in '93 when Aggretator was the band name. It's on the website also, and it was like Jürgen and Christopher also played in that band, so that was a good learning experience. We were very much into Meshuggah and Cynic, and in the end it took like a year. In a year we wrote like 3 songs in 1 year, yeah. So because everybody, it was a very big democracy, even though all of us had different meanings about music. So it took like ages until we had like riffs that everybody liked in the band, you know. And in the end it was so complicated, nobody actually could headbang or anything to the music. It was like, you know, but it was a good learning experience for me. And when we did the first recording in '93, this producer in Germany told me, you know, that because I was playing not very even dynamically. I was like when I was playing fast, I was playing very soft, and whenever I had, you know, got the time to do a Tommy Lee beat, I was like playing harder, you know. And he said, you know, try to even it out, you know, not play too hard when you play slower, and
not too
soft, you know, and try to hit harder when you play fast, you know. And that was actually a big opening for me, because I never really. It was the first time also that I really recorded myself in a good way, so, you know.
Okay.
So back then we only had like tape recorders and stuff, you know. You could actually not hear anything when you recorded anything, so it was hard to tell how it sounded, you know.
Oh man.